Yeah, I want to ask you, Bless, how does it feel now? Seeing you progressing. How does it feel?
In what way?
Um, on your project, I know how when it started, and you see it growing, and you're getting positive feedback from the public. How do you actually feel?
It's a nice feeling, Or compared to where we was in what was it? What day was it? It was that day in May where there was no numbers, and I gave you a call, and you was like, and I said to you, it will come naturally. Naturally, it will come through, and now we're at a point where there's numbers. We're getting requests from all sorts about price, price, price. It was I showed you literally the chat. There was literally 20 people. It wasn't. It was I like your thingy, but what's the price? What's the price? And obviously we do have a price that's coming through in October, but it's a pleasure, it's an honor. But one thing I do respect the most is just seeing all my boys from all different areas. You got guys from West London, North London, East London, all sorts just coming down, working, collaborating with each other. And I think that's the best part. I'm not too phased about price, whatever this and that. But the thing I love the most is just seeing everyone collaborate and get together. That is the best part, in my opinion.
Okay, so you live in a very posh area.
Correct.
Yeah, very posh area. So how's your community has embraced what you're doing? Is there any feedback that you got from your community in Barnes? Because we know Barnes is not very multicultural
Mm.
area. So how what type of response did you get from
I've
people
had
in
I've
Barnes?
obviously
Say,
90% of the time I'm driving places, but I've had little trips to Sainsbury's or when
mm-hmm,
I'm just going on a walk and people saying, "Oh, I've seen your
mm,
fly, I've seen your post, you're doing something really good."
mm-hmm,
I'm getting feedback from people after the session, texting me saying what you're doing in Barnes is amazing. Like I have conversations with Sean and Michael after, and they're just saying like, no one's really done this in this area.
mm-hmm,
Barnes is very just everyone's to themselves, and now I've created something like where everyone's kind of getting together. You're getting people from all different areas. Like one person said this the other day at camp. It was like we all live like less than half an hour away from each other, but because we're all in all different backgrounds, we've never been in an environment where we can all be with each other. And I feel like fitness has been able to do that. Like when I was in university in Birmingham, at Rock Up, you had people from Eggbaston, Selly Oak, Handsworth, all sorts, just all linking up together, even from just the outskirts of Wolverhampton. I feel like I knew that if you can do that there, you can do it in London. And I'm seeing people. We had people come from Watford, Reading, um, up near Epsom, and all sorts of London and the UK. But yeah, it's pretty exciting.
as your mother, I can say I'm really proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
When you came with the vision, I was like, whoa, how is that going to happen, especially in the area we live in?
Mm-hmm.
But you defined that, and we've seen the progress. You're going further and further. The main thing is the networking that you have,
Mm-hmm.
and people, they're coming from all over the places.
Mm-hmm.
And then how the future's looking, would you say?
I'll say the future is going to be very interesting. I'll say this part of building it is always going to be my favorite part. But of course, you got to have it structured out. You got to always have a plan. At the end of the day, you can't just give stuff for free forever. You know what I'm saying? That's not how the world really works. So, like, in my personal opinion, I think this will be September will be the last full month where we enjoy it. One of the last sessions until the whole change happens is the invite only session on my birthday. So on my birthday it will be an invite only session where it'll be the people who've come since day one or whatever and everything that'll be coming down. I know a lot of people might be leaving because of course it's going to be paid, but there's a system to it. There's nutritional guidance, there's access to everything. So you get access to all the events and collaboration we're going to have with different clubs and everything. And it's gonna be it's gonna be quite emotional, But hey, we're on to bigger and better. Like those days where it was just four people in the Cali Park, those days where it was just you know two people. Shout out Michael. Even nowadays, we had 16 people last week. We had 12 people yesterday, and I'm gonna miss that. But we're on to bigger and better, I must say.
Okay, well done once
Thank you.
again.